Hi guys, it is Aoife from Fred VC Died Laughing and I'm here to do the mid-year check-in tag. So this was created by Harriet over Harriet Rosie and Dane over Dane Reads. I will leave them linked below. And yeah, it's time I checked in what we're reading this year because I have read a lot. So yeah, it's good to do this, especially for me reading so much. It's good to do this kind of tag halfway through the year, so at the end of the year I can look back at this and know what I was thinking at the time. So the first question is how many books have I read so far this year, and I have read 114 books, and I'm currently 2 books behind. My goal is 220 books. I'm 2 books behind schedule at the moment, which is extremely annoying. So hopefully I will catch up. But yeah, 114 books. So 2 is, what is your favourite book so far this year? So as you see, I've read 114 books, so it's impossible for me to choose just one. So I have a few. So one of the books I really loved this year that I just keep telling everyone about was Everybody Matters by Mary Robinson. This is a autobiography by Mary Robinson, who was the first female president of Ireland. She also served as the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, and she was also on the UN group The Elders. She's still in that, and she's currently helping to fight against climate change. So she is just one badass cool woman, and I just love being able to hear about her journey to where she got to like become president, her thoughts about being president, everything she did afterwards. She's just so inspiring and she is my new hero. I love her so much, and I just loved being able to read all about her in this book. The second book I want to talk about that is one of my favourites is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. This is a book written in verse. It is YA. It is about this girl called Ziamara who is kind of having a really tough time kind of culturally, in a way, kind of a culture smash between being American and also I think her parents, I think, is she Dominican or Haitian? I can't remember, but her mother is really religious and she's just having a really hard time clashing with her mother because of all these things, doesn't really have a good relationship with her mom, and it's just really struggling. And this was just such an emotional, amazing, hard-hitting book, and it was in verse, and I was having like physical reactions when I was reading this about what was happening on the page, and I just love when a book does that to me. So I just loved this book so much. Another favourite for me was Tiamat's Wrath by James S.A. Corey. This is his most recent book in the Expanse series. So this one, a lot of stuff came together in this one. It was really cool, and it was just great to I kind of read this book in like less than 24 hours. I just needed to read it and I flew through it, and yeah, I just got pulled along with the action and everything that happened in it. I appreciated the characters so much more in this book than I had before, and it just made me so excited for the next book, which I don't know when it's going to come out, but I'm very excited for that. And then another book that's one of my favourites is a short story collection. That was Kissing the Witch by Emma Donoghue. This is a book I read during the Irish Readathon as well, and this is a short story collection. This is a short story collection kind of focusing on Disney princesses in a way, and they're all kind of interconnected, and it was just so much fun. I really enjoyed this book. I love Emma Donoghue's writing. I feel like she can just take her writing to any genre and she just smashed it, so this was great. Question number 3 is what's your most disappointing book you've read this year? So I have 2 to talk about. One was Wind Witch by Susan Dennard, which is like my second book I finished this year, and I really loved True Witch, and for some reason when I was reading Wind Witch I just didn't connect properly with the characters again. I just wasn't connected with the story, and yeah, I just was not in the story the way I was with True Witch, and there's just something about it I just didn't really enjoy. I will continue on. I think the next one is Blood Witch, and I do want to read Sight Witch as well, which is the novella, but there was just something about Wind Witch that just didn't connect with me at all, and I was just so disappointed because I had loved True Witch so much. The next disappointing book I read was The Phoenix Empress by K.R. Snout Rivera. This is the second book in the Tiger's Daughter trilogy, and this one just was just very boring and very long, and yeah, it just wasn't one for me either. It was just one that I just didn't connect with the story, and I just didn't really enjoy what the characters were doing, and yeah, I just didn't enjoy it. It just wasn't very good for me. Number 4 is what genre have you read the most this year, and I use this kind of reading spreadsheet, so it kind of has all these different parts of the spreadsheet. It does go into sections and it kind of lets you know about the genres you've read. So I have read 23% contemporary, which is surprising. I didn't think I'd read as much contemporary, and then historical fiction and fantasy were about 16%. So they're the 3 I've read the most from. Yeah, so that's it. I was name a new favourite author you've discovered this year. I have 2 new favourite authors this year. One of them is Jessamine Ward, who wrote Sing, Unburied Sing. Absolutely love that book. It was so beautiful. Definitely want to read everything else Jessamine Ward has written because her writing is gorgeous and I want to read more of it. And then Elizabeth Acevedo, who wrote The Poet X. Obviously I really want to read more from her. She does have a new book out recently, so I'm waiting for that to hopefully come up onto my library app, because I really like reading books in verse from my library app on my phone, because I actually find it much easier. It's a really nice way to read verse, I think. But yeah, if not, maybe I will buy it, I don't know. But yeah, she's definitely one of my new favourite authors. Number 6 is what's the most surprisingly good book you've read so far this year. I'm going to go for The Truths and Shrines of Grace Atherton by Angsty Harris. I have talked about this quite a bit in the last while on my channel, but this is a book that is contemporary, and I just thought it was just going to be this nice cute contemporary, like, you know, just, you know, nothing particularly special, but just something nice to read. And it's just, the story has just ended up sticking with me, and it was just so beautiful, and I just loved it so much. I really felt emotionally for the character in it. This is about a girl called Grace Atherton, she is a violin and cello maker, and she's in this relationship, this long relationship with this man who's actually married. So she's like a willing mistress to this man, and then basically things kind of end up turning out really bad for Grace, and she ends up in this really terrible place in her life where she's just completely alone. She doesn't know what to do, and she needs other people in her life to kind of help pick her up again and you know, remind her of her self-worth and all the amazing things she does. And she ends up going to this competition, violin cello competition, and it's just really cool, and it's really, really nice, very emotional. I just connected a lot with Grace, even though nothing in my life is really similar to hers, but just whatever way her emotions were, I just connected with her, and I just loved her as a character. I loved the storyline. I loved the fact it was just quite unique in a way, and yeah, it was just really good, and I just didn't expect it to be as good as it did end up being for me. Number 7 is what was your favourite and most anticipated 2019 releases? The 2019 release that I'm kind of most looking forward to, I guess, is The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I tend not to be great in terms of like always knowing what the new releases are. I kind of just see them on other people's channel, and I'm like, oh yeah. But like, I'm not great at like having a list for myself. So yeah, I actually don't really have a great answer to this, except The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, which everyone knows is coming out and everyone is looking forward to. So yeah. Number 8 is what's your next big priority for your reading. I don't give myself reading goals. You guys probably have noticed this. I never do reading goals on my channel. It's not something that I like to try and enforce upon myself, because I feel like it would just make my reading more of a chore, and I don't want that. Reading is fun for me, is my form of mindfulness and self-care, so I don't want to be giving myself reading goals and putting pressure on myself in that way. So literally my priority is just keep on reading and keep on enjoying the books I'm reading. Number 9 is what's been your bookish highlight of the year so far, and definitely one of my bookish highlights has been able to be a guest host on Book Break. So I was able to do a video for Book Break on Irish authors, so I'll leave that link down below if anyone hasn't seen that. So that was so much fun, and I love being able to do that and being asked to do that. That was amazing. And then also my other bookish highlight of the year was also co-hosting the Irish Readathon for the 2nd year with my lovely co-hosts Leanne and Elaine. Absolutely loved that. I enjoy the Irish Readathon so much. It is definitely always my highlight of the reading year, and yeah, I loved it. So I'm not going to tag anyone because it is kind of like the middle of July now, so a lot of people who've done this tag, who wanted to do this tag, have already done it. So yeah, but if you do want to do it, I tag you. So that's everything I can talk about in terms of my mid-year check-in. Please let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye!